Is there anything I could help you with? Oh, sorry. I was just admiring your minivan. It looks so stylish. Is that your brother?
Hi there.
No, that's my husband. Oh, you certainly look much younger than that. Excuse me? What are your names?
I'm Jim, and this is Camilla.
Jim, huh? I like the sound of it. Sorry? Is there anything you need here? We're trying to rest. I'm just a bit curious, Do you have some time to tell me about this cool lifestyle you're having? Actually, we're trying to take a nap. Would you mind? Jim, what are you up to?
He is also... Actually, it wouldn't hurt to talk to her just for a few minutes. We do have a cool lifestyle.
Awesome. Want to grab a coffee? We could leave Camilla here while she's taking a nap.
Cool. See you later, babe.
My name is Camilla, and I was married to my husband Jim for almost 2 decades. We were both in our 50s, and we had decided not to have any children. Instead, we are focusing on investing more in our careers and hobbies. It was a tough decision to make, but we both agreed that we wanted to travel and see the world. We wanted to pursue our dreams and passion without any limitations or responsibilities, and became quite successful in our respective careers. That year, Jim and I were finally able to achieve our biggest dream, to retire and travel the country together. We had worked hard all our lives, saved up enough money, sold our house, and bought a minivan to explore new places. It was such a big change, but we were both excited about what the future held for us. Our first stop was Yellowstone National Park, and it was breathtaking. We spent hours hiking through the mountains, watching geyser erupts, and admiring the wildlife. We felt free and alive, and we knew that we had made the right choice. Our journey took us to many beautiful places, including the Grand Canyon, Mount Rushmore, and the Rocky Mountains. We met new people and heard stories, and we learned so much about the different cultures and traditions in America. We also tried out different activities like fishing, kayaking, and even bungee jumping. We made so many memories together, and I felt grateful for every moment we spent together. However, as much as everything sounded awesome, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. As soon as we hit the road, we started to get into all kinds of conflicts. Jim seemed to have lost his enthusiasm for the trip and refused to help with the maintenance of the van. I ended up taking on all the responsibilities, which was exhausting and frustrating. I tried to talk to him about it, but he just brushed me off and said that he deserved to relax and enjoy the trip. Things got worse when Jim started to waste money on unnecessary things. He would buy expensive souvenirs and lavish meals, even though we had agreed to stick to a budget. I tried to reason with him and remind him of our financial goals, but he refused to listen. It was incredibly stressful, and I felt like I was shouldering all the responsibilities while he got to enjoy the trip without any worries. To make sure we could maintain that lifestyle, I decided to start a travel account online and share our experiences. I created a blog where I wrote about our adventures, the places we visited, and the people we met. I also started an Instagram page where I posted photos and stories from our trips. To my surprise, my channel started to gain worldwide popularity, and a lot of people reached out to ask for advice. They would ask about the best places to eat, the most beautiful sights to see, and the best ways to save money while traveling. I was overjoyed that so many people were finding my content helpful and inspiring. However, Jim started to get really jealous. He would accuse me of spending too much time on my blog and not enough time with him. He would get upset when I would take photos or write posts instead of going out there and really experiencing the adventures, in his words. I tried to explain to him that this was something I was passionate about and that it was helping us maintain our lifestyle. But he just couldn't understand. He went as far as accusing me of trying to betray him with men I met online. That was completely untrue. I had never even considered being unfaithful to him. I tried to tell myself that was just something he said when he was angry, so that I could look past it. Little did I know, things only got worse from there. One day, as we were parked in town to fill our gas, a college girl walked by and got curious about our minivan. "Is there anything I could help you with?" "Oh, sorry, I was just admiring your minivan. It looks so stylish. Is that your brother?"
Hi there.
"No, that's my husband."
Oh, you certainly look much younger than that.
"Excuse me? What are your names?"
I'm Jim, and this is Camilla.
"Jim, huh? I like the sound of it." "Sorry, is there anything you need here? We are trying to rest." "Oh, I'm just a bit curious, you know. Do you have some time to tell me about this cool lifestyle you're having?" "Actually, we're trying to take a nap. Would you mind?"
Jim, what are you up to?"
He is also...
Actually, it wouldn't hurt to talk to her for just a few minutes. We do have a cool lifestyle.
Awesome. Want to grab a coffee? We could leave Camilla here while she's taking her nap.
Cool. See you later, babe.
As I watched them two walk away, I couldn't help but notice how they were flirting with each other. He was being overly friendly, laughing at her jokes and complimenting her on her looks. I felt a pang of jealousy and insecurity, but I tried not to let it show. When I brought it up with Jim, he denied it. One day, when I was checking the footage in my camera, I realized that I had accidentally turned it on and left it recording the back of our minivan for 6 hours. Jim had told me that he was going to watch a basketball match while I went out with some of my friends in the region, so nobody was there to turn it off. I was looking through the footage, trying to see if there is anything interesting, when I noticed something strange. I was taken aback by the sound of Jim and another young girl. I stared at the screen to realize that he didn't go to any basketball match, but brought a girl back to our minivan. I couldn't see anything because the camera was under some blankets, but I could hear the sounds of them having fun with each other. It broke my heart, and I couldn't help but think of how much all the other times that Jim might have cheated on me that I didn't know of. I couldn't believe what I was hearing and seeing. Jim's infidelity shattered my trust in him, and I felt like my whole world was falling apart. It didn't help that I had suspected something was going on for a while, but I had ignored my intuition and tried to make things work. I knew that I needed to make a decision about what to do next, but it was just so hard. I spent the next few days in a daze, trying to process my emotions and figure out my next steps. I could never look at Jim the same way anymore, but I acted like everything was normal. I just made up more excuses to be out of our minivan more often, just so I could be away from him and have some space to myself. Jim didn't even care. He didn't ask twice about my whereabouts, which pained me even more. But that was my last straw, realizing that the man I had cared for so deeply did not deserve my love and devotion. After a few days, I realized that I couldn't keep pretending that everything was okay anymore. I made up my mind and came up with the perfect revenge plan. On the last day of our stay in the town, I purposefully parked our minivan in a very secluded spot, telling Jim that I just wanted to watch the stars there that night. Then I also told him that I was going out that afternoon. I knew that Jim wouldn't miss the golden opportunity to hook up with that girl one last time. It was a risky plan, but I was determined to find out the truth. I waited for what felt like forever because I was feeling anxious and scared about what I might find. But just less than an hour in, my worst fears were confirmed. Jim was inviting someone inside, and as soon as I got a closer look, I realized that she was the college girl we met that day. They were so reckless that they were throwing their clothes out of the minivan. Then, I watched as they were kissing and touching each other, completely oblivious to my presence. I felt sick to my stomach, but I knew that my chance to get the revenge I had waited for was there. I secretly gathered all of the clothes that Jim and the woman had taken off and then slammed the door shut right in front of them. They were too stunned to react at first, but then they started banging on the door, demanding to be let out. Of course, I had already locked it. After leaving Jim and his mistress stranded in the back of our minivan, I hopped in the driver's seat and drove straight to Jim's parents' house. The trip was almost 20 minutes, during which they were constantly banging on the door. I could hear their muffled voices and pounding fists in the background, but I tried my best to ignore them. I was determined to get Jim's parents' house and tell them everything. When I finally made it to the house, I called Jim's parents out and then unlocked the door. His parents saw their son in that minivan naked together with his mistress. To make matters worse, she really looked like she could be of their granddaughter's age. They were shocked, and I could see the hurt and disappointment in their eyes. As Jim's dad started screaming at him and questioning his audacity to do such a terrible thing, his mom began sobbing. Jim and his young mistress was so embarrassed they collapsed on the floor of the van. I felt a pang of sympathy for Jim's parents, but I knew that they deserved to know the truth. Without the concrete proof, they would never have believed that Jim could do such a terrible thing. I mean, even I couldn't believe in my eyes at first, so I wouldn't blame them if they don't. I knew that Jim had a great relationship with his parents, and ruining this for him would probably be the cruelest thing I could do. But let me be the bad guy for once, after so many years of being forgiving, compromising, and loving to him for nothing. After that, I gave the college girl a blanket and asked her to find her way to the nearest police station herself. She was filled with embarrassment, but she didn't dare to ask me for a decent piece of clothing. For someone who had intentionally seduced a married man, she was almost too shy to be believable. She lowered her head as much as she could and couldn't even look at me straight in the eyes. But I couldn't care less about her. I was already too generous in letting her go without making her pay for the consequences. Just the walk of shame from my in-laws' place to the police station should be enough to teach her a lesson. Jim's parents and I sat down in the living room to talk through what had happened, while we left him outside in the minivan. I explained everything to them, from the affair to my decision to end things with Jim. They listened patiently, offering me their support and understanding. During the whole conversation, I could still hear Jim's cries and screamed as he accused me of being a calculating witch. But that meant nothing to me. I gave him everything he had ever wanted, and he ruined it for both of us. Now he couldn't even realize that it was all his fault. It was time for me to walk away. There was no going back from the betrayal and hurt that he had caused me. So I filed for divorce and claimed all of our joint property. It was a difficult process, but I knew that it was the right decision for me. Jim's parents had to call me multiple times to apologize on his behalf because I had blocked his number. They were ashamed of their son's action and wanted to make things right. I appreciated their apology, but I also knew that it wouldn't change anything. I was done with Jim and his lies. I told them that I wished them health and peace, but I would not talk to anyone in their family again. Despite the pain and heartbreak that I had gone through, I refused to let it define me. I continued to upload content on my social media, sharing my travels and experiences with others. Soon, I had created a network of travelers for myself, exchanging tips and stories with people from all over the world. I discovered that there was a whole community of people out there who shared my passion for adventure and exploration. They inspired me to keep pushing myself, to keep seeking out new experiences and challenges. And slowly but surely, I began to heal from the pain of my broken marriage. Looking back, I realized that the end of my relationship with Jim was the beginning of a new chapter in my life. It was a painful and difficult experience, but it also gave me the courage to pursue my dreams and follow my heart. I learned to trust myself and my instincts, and to never settle for less than I deserve. I'm living my best life right now, and I'm loving every minute of it.